Oh, it's live.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is Hero Goalie Co. On a Friday evening, feeling festive, and we're joined and very, very lucky to have with us Jimi Lewis, national German goalie coach. Good evening, Jimi.
Good evening.
Thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Getting ready for Christmas. Got a bit of downtime at the moment. It's been a very hectic year, obviously, with the European Cup in the summer, with the men and women, and then the Olympics, and then the preparations and the Junior World Cup for the boys, obviously, and then the women's was unfortunately cancelled. But it's been with 6 major tournaments plus the Hockey Pro League as well, obviously, and everything else that comes with it. It's been a trying and testing and emotional and been a hard year. I'm now got a couple of weeks holiday and enjoying spending the time with the family, to be honest.
Sounds great. So, you had a very successful Under-21 World Cup recently, and we were just saying your German goalkeepers had a great event there. Were you happy with their performances?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't get goalkeeper of the tournament if you play badly, obviously.
Nice.
I thought Anton Brinkman, as the number 1 goalkeeper, played very well. He obviously made a couple of mistakes, but it's normal at that age, to be honest. I mean, the guy's only 21 years old, but he's a big talent. And Jean Danneberg, the number 2 goalkeeper, is very close in the selection between the two of them, honestly. It was really close. He was selected as the penalty stroke and you call it shuffles in England. We call it penalty shootout here, goalkeeper. And he had one job to do, and he did it amazingly well, to be honest. In the end, we saved 3 out of 5 penalties, I think, or no, 4 out of 5, I think, to be honest.
Yeah,
4 out of 5 or 3 out of 4. Did a fantastic job. Yeah.
Right.
Shame the guys didn't win the World Cup. They should have won, to be honest. They were better than Argentina.
I thought that as well.
But if you don't score enough goals, then you don't win, unfortunately. That's the way it is.
That's the game.
Yep.
So you joined us back in August for a live call with Hursty, Mark Hickman, Alan Dick. And that was our first ever call online. That video has now been watched 1,800 times, which is amazing. And that's by far and away our most popular video. But since then, we've had Tommy Alexander, Amy Gibson.
Yeah, 2 of my goalies.
Of course. Thanks for that. We've also had Kiko Cortez, Ramon Fraser. We've had some really, really cool people online. And we've got Alex Stadler is coming in on January. So
Stadler.
Got to get that right.
Stadler.
Yeah.
Alex
who I believe went to school in England. Is that right?
He did, yes. It was an interesting story because he is I've been doing this German national team goalie coach job since the summer 2015 part-time, and then from January 2016 full-time. And one of my first camps was the boys under 16s camp in Cologne. I rocked up to the camp and there was 4 or 5 goalies there, all like 14, 15, 16 years old, whatever. And I thought I'd teach them my techniques that I think are important for goalkeepers, obviously. They're very un-German, very international techniques. And the boy, Stadler, could do everything perfectly. This cross kick and playing the ball the way to the outside. Yeah, just lunging to the ball, playing it actively away. Everything, how he was standing, how he was moving. I think, hey, how does this guy know all my techniques? And it turns out that he was coached in the school in the north of England or in Scotland, one of the two. I'm not sure. Yeah, Oakham. Where is it? I have no idea where it is. It's in the north somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Midland. Okay, all right. He was coached by Jimi, Keir, who was the hockey teacher at that school at the time and was the Scotland number 1 at the time. And I was the coach of Scotland before I took the German job, obviously. So I was coaching Jimi, and Jimi coached him. He did a very good job, Jimi, as you can see, because within 5 years, Alex has gone from the under 16 goalkeeper to the German national team number 1 goalkeeper at 21 years old, which is pretty amazing, to be fair.
Rise, isn't it?
Yeah, top talent. Yeah,
and that's what we all dream of, And some of you guys manage it and some of us don't, but that's always the dream.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I should also mention, sorry, we had George Pinner last week, which is a really, really, I don't know if you saw that one, a really good call.
Nice
George
guy.
was talking about retiring and very honest as usual. Classic George, very honest and open chat. Really enjoyed that. So, Jimmy, moving forward then, when we get past Christmas, it looks like it's going to be a very, very busy calendar year again, COVID pending, hopefully. But there's some big events coming up.
We'll see. Yeah.
What are the big things you're looking forward to in 2022?
It starts for me straight away I talk about the national team, not about the club situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I coach a couple of clubs as well, obviously, but with the national team. It starts for me middle of January with the European Championships indoor with Germany. Obviously, Germany is a big indoor country. It's the best indoor country in the world, to be honest. And the European Championships, men and women, are at the same venue. It's in my hometown here in Hamburg. So that'll be a big event. Both teams, the men and women, are both sending full squads. Normally to the European Cup, they send a prospective team. So it's about an under-23 team, basically. And for the World Cup, they send a full team. This year, because we're hosting it, it's going to be the other way around. The European Cup teams are going to be full teams, the best team available. And the World Cup will be more of a prospective team or development team. So younger guys, a lot of guys from the under-21 World Cup, I think, will be playing in the World Cup indoor, because the week after the World Cup indoor, we start with Hockey Pro League games with the men and women. So it's not really time to adjust from indoor hockey to outdoor hockey. So that's my first two events this year. Middle of January, indoor European Cup here in Hamburg. Start of February, the indoor World Cup in Belgium. And then in March, beginning of March, the Hockey Pro League starts with the men are supposed to be in South Africa. We'll see if that actually takes place or not. It's all hanging in the air at the moment, but that will be against Canada and South Africa, and the women fly off to India. So that is that. And the main event this year, obviously the men and women's World Cups, field World Cups, outdoor. The women is in summer, I think it's in July, and it's split between Holland and Spain. It's like a double country thing, like they do in football.
Yeah.
And the men's World Cup is actually supposed to be the end of this year, but it's actually the start. It's actually in January 2023. So my main event this year will be the World Cup, the field World Cup, not the two indoor events. So.
Yeah, and that's in India.
The men.
Right?
Yeah, that's but that's not until January 2023. So it's actually not next year. It should be next year, but it's actually in January the year after. So that would be basically in about 13 months' time. But in the summer, so in 7 months' time, is the Women's World Cup, and it's split between two venues. It's being hosted by Spain and by Holland. Half the group games in Holland, half in Spain, and funny format, very strange, but.
And there's the Commonwealth Games in there as well. I know that that might not affect you, but the Commonwealth Games in the summer.
Germany's not part of the Commonwealth.
No, that's what I meant. Yeah, so that's sort of wedged in there as well for.
Yeah, that will be for Tommy and Amy. That will be very important, obviously. And I trained both of them at our club. Tommy's the first men's team goalkeeper at Club under Ulster, and Amy Gibson is the first women's goalkeeper at Club under Ulster. And I trained both of them obviously through the club, but we'll be training them not directly through the national team, but through the club situation in the direction of the Commonwealth Games. Yeah.
I must say, having chatted to Amy, I've taken a particular interest in watching her stuff, and I think she's absolutely outstanding. Really,
phenomenal goalkeeper.
I liked her already, but having chatted to her, met her, and that sort of thing, now I like really taken a real interest and really love her, the way she plays.
Yeah, really good goalkeeper, great athlete, and really good girl as well. I like to have fun. Interesting story. She actually called me. She just dropped out of the GB program. When was that? It was just before Rio, I think. She just dropped out of the GB program. Played for 1 or 2 years in England, I think, for Reading. I think she played at Reading and maybe somewhere else. And called me and said, I've fallen out of love with hockey. No fun. I'm going to stop. And I was like, no, you're not going to stop. You're too good to stop. Too good a girl as well. how do you feel about moving to Hamburg and come and play at Ulster? And she jumped at the chance, and I said to her, I'll come over here and I'll try and bring a bit more fun into your training and your game and everything. And she planned to come for 2 years, and I think now it's 4 years, and she's still here, still having fun, and still winning things. So she's a really, really cool girl, top goalkeeper, a really cool girl.
There you go.
Shame she's not involved with the GB program anymore.
Massive shame.
She's good enough.
Massive shame.
I think she's good enough, but I mean, we've had this conversation before. She doesn't really fit in the GB hockey box, to be fair, for what they want from personality and from goalkeeper and from person. Which is a real shame, but really cool girl, top goalkeeper as well.
Yeah,
she's known in Germany as the goalkeeper with the fastest feet in hockey.
Really?
Yeah.
She will. She is super quick.
She's got amazingly fast feet.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. Yeah,
good stuff. Cool, and then, so in Germany, Jimmy, a lot of people watching won't know too much about how the club format works, but in England, indoor has only ever been, like a wedged-in thing at Christmas, really, and even when indoor was just like before TV rights and stuff, it was always at like Crystal Palace and played in that boiling hot sports hall by the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And it was, myself, you'd qualify over a couple of weekends at somewhere random like Kidderminster or whatever. And then it was just wedged in the gap. But in Germany, of course, it's a huge machine, isn't it? It's a huge part of the year.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a huge thing. I mean, the outdoor season here generally finishes around, or say the first half of the season, towards the end of October. And then indoor preseason starts the beginning of November. You play about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, depending on the field season, how it runs and stuff. Preseason, and then the league season runs through December and through January, and then it goes into the quarterfinal stage. So the league here is split into 4 regions. You have the First Division League here. It's a National League 1 or Premier League, whatever you want to call it. Erste Bundesliga, it's called here, is North, West, East, and South. And you have 6 teams in each group. You play each other home and away. So 10 games during the league season. You play double header weekends most of the time. And then the top 2 from each league, so 8 teams going into a quarterfinal stage. And that varies from year to year. 1 year it's North against West. The next year it's North against East, North against South. So it varies. Your quarterfinal opponent varies. And then there's one weekend, it's called the Final Four, as it is in England, obviously. And then there'd be the semi-final, men, women. So 4 semi-finals on the Saturday and the final on the Sunday. It's a big event here. Obviously, the weather here in Germany is a bit worse than it is in England, obviously, especially in the south of Germany. That's why they go to this longer indoor season. It's the same with the East European countries as well, like Poland, Czechoslovakia, Russia, Ukraine, whatever. They're also big indoor countries. The other countries have picked up on it a bit. I mean, Holland have a specialist indoor team these days, also very good. They don't play national team outdoor; they only play national team indoor. The players in Holland, these ones that play with the national team, but it's a big thing over here, and for the kids also. And the indoor season runs for roughly about 4 months over here.
Yeah,
it's a big development tool for goalkeepers. You get a lot of action, obviously, totally different to outdoor game, but you get a lot of action. And for the field players, developing techniques and pressure situations, small area of things, small area games, small area situations, high level of technique and decision making. They use it a lot over here to develop the kids' game. So it's an important thing. I think it's something lacking in the English game, to be honest. It's a shame.
Yeah. Is it hard as a goalkeeper to go out of outdoor into indoor style and techniques, and then at the end of whatever January, February, go back into outdoor mode? Is that tricky? Or?
It's a very good question, to be fair. I mean, I moved over here when I was 29, nearly 30, and I played indoor in England back in the day. Then when Barry Dancer came in as the senior men's team coach in 97, 98, he basically scrapped indoor. Up until that phase, or up until that point, we were actually a strong indoor nation, to be fair. And he came in and scrapped it, and then everything went off. And a few years later, they brought it back in again, but had to start right at the bottom. And I joined here, I moved to Hamburg when I was nearly 30 and started playing first division indoor here when I was 30. And it was like learning a whole new sport. And I will have to say I was absolutely useless. And I'm a goalkeeper, as you know, likes to save balls. I wore very little protection, used my speed, my agility, my reactions, and wanted to save balls. And indoor, you can't do that over here. It's all about being in the right place at the right time, making yourself big and getting hit basically a lot. It's also a talent. It's also a skill. I couldn't get my head around it, and I actually ended up playing second team with my club for the first few years, and then kind of developed my own techniques, my own game, and went back into play for the first team and was quite good after that. But I really struggled with from outdoor to indoor was not too bad. From indoor to outdoor, I found I went back outdoor and I was chasing the ball around the circle like a dog in the park. And the only thing that was really good, I have to say, was my corner defense. When you have a corner outdoors from 16 yards and from indoors from 9 meters, whatever, it's a big difference. So saving a corner outdoor was a lot easier after
You
the
see
indoor
beach
season.
balls, were you, by then?
Yeah, it's just this difference of 7 meters is huge. You can't really comprehend it until you actually stand there in the goal. You look at an indoor circle, 9 meters, and an outdoors is 15 meters or 16 yards. The difference is absolutely massive, and reading the ball from a flicked corner outdoor was then a lot easier. But the idea of staying in the goal and not always coming out and this kind of stuff took me a little while to adapt. Yeah, I remember I played one game in the middle of the indoor season. Sorry, here in Germany. I hadn't played any outdoor hockey for about 6 weeks, and we played with the England team in Holland against Holland. I think we lost 5-1. I was in goal. I was absolutely terrible. And the only thing I didn't do was let any corners in. I saved every corner from Takama, but my normal game was atrocious. I was so bad, really, really bad. It's difficult. But the German goalies, because they're used to it from when they start at like 6 years old, 8 years old, when they first go in goal, they adapt very quickly. They have totally different games, totally different techniques, totally different style and concept, and they just chop change. For them, it's not too. I don't see the problem for them, to be honest. But for me, as a 30-year-old, it was pretty difficult, to be fair.
Yeah. I was going to say, in England, there always was the older players indoor were able to play a bit longer, and like over here, like Nicky Thompson played a lot of indoor.
Yeah, he was a good indoor player.
Yeah, like Nicky Thompson, Ian Jennings, Zach Jones. Those older guys got probably bossed it for quite a long. Andy Halliday, good indoor player.
Yeah, really good indoor player. Yeah, good indoor trainer.
Is it like that in Germany? You got slightly older guys who are playing on a bit longer indoor.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, normally here either if you're playing for your club, you play indoor and outdoor. Whether you play first team indoor or you want to take a bit of a break as you're an older player over the winter and you play second team, or you take a complete break and just do athletic training, is one thing. But a national team, they only select people from the current senior team. Maybe with one or two others that are specialist indoor players that come in question. But in the lower clubs, let's say the ones outside the first or second Bundesliga, then there tends to be a lot of more older players that play there, because obviously there's a lot less running indoor. It's not so hard on the lungs and on the legs. And there's generally less traveling. I mean, here in the north, where I live in Hamburg, north of Germany, it's our 6-team first division league here. This year is a little bit different. There's 4 teams from Hamburg and 2 teams from Hanover. I think it was last year and the years before that, all 6 teams are from Hamburg. So you can basically drive for the underground. Uwatse actually won.
That's awesome.
Uhlenhorst, they actually won from Hamburg with Mo Förster and Nico Jacobi, these kind of guys. They won the German championships. I think it was 3 years ago. They actually beat us in the final, beat Ulster in the final. And there were 6 Hamburg teams in the league, and they actually called it the S-Bahn League, which is the tube, the underground league. And they travelled to every game with the underground. So you can it's actually not so much travelling, whereas in the National League outdoor, I mean, we have to travel to Munich and we fly to the game. It's a 9-hour drive. It's about 7.5 hours of the train, or it's a 1-hour flight. So when we travel with the club there, we fly. So as you see, the indoor is not so much, doesn't take up so much time with traveling around, this kind of stuff. And And you get big crowds here as well, to be fair. So
Nice.
with the indoors, it's a big thing here.
I got a live question here. Someone called Matthew Lewis on the chat room says, is there a benefit of introducing goalkeepers to indoor hockey in the same way that outfield players play indoor for their like close control and touch? Like, is there a benefit of going indoor to
Definitely. There's a few, let's say, beneficial areas, I would say, to the goalkeeping game. Firstly, reactions. I mean, you have to react very quickly to balls that are going with very high speed from close in. Decision making. Do I come out? Do I stay in the goal? If I'm going to come out, how do I come out? Fitness. It's extremely tiring play. I mean, over here, a game over here, an adult game, lasts 1 hour. It used to be 2 times 30 minutes, so it's practically the same as what an outdoor game used to be. It used to be 2 times 35. And it's brutal. I was after a first division game, and I played at Flopbeck, and we were one of the lower teams in the league all the time. So the goalie had a lot to do. And after 1 hour of an indoor National League game or Bundesliga game, I was absolutely hanging. And 2 hours training Tuesday and Thursday night. It's very good for the fitness, especially speed, endurance, obviously, agility, quick decision making, which is very similar to the field players. You get very little reaction time because the pitch is smaller, the ball moves faster. You get a lot of action. And what was the first thing I said? Can't remember now. Decision making, reactions, because the ball moves so quickly. If you stay on the line, reactions for the hands, for the feet. It's very good for those sort of things, I think.
Cool. Good question. Thank you, Matthew. So in terms of your role with Germany, Jimmy, do you get involved with all the age groups, or do you only go maybe like to 18s, or do you try and get round to everybody?
I try to do everything. I mean, I'm the head goalie coach here. My first full year in 2016 was the Rio Olympic year, obviously. So I worked a lot with the men and women. It's my first year in the job, so I wanted to make a good impression. I wanted to get my ideas over. I wanted to kind of I wouldn't say stamp my authority, but I wanted to get to know everybody and sort of, okay, I'm now here. I'm the first ever full-time German national team goalie coach. Excuse me. Before that, there was guys that come in and did it on a part-time basis, but there was never any set structure, concept, ideas. It was always different from team to team and from year to year. So to get my ideas across, I said I was going to try and do everything, and I was actually away from home for about 9 months. And my wife nearly left me. My son had just been born the year before. Every time I come home, he thought I was a burglar. So I said after 2016, okay, it was a great year to get my foot in the door, get my foot on the ladder, get to know everybody, the structures, this and that, what I need to work on and what needs to be done, but I'm not going to do that again. So after that, we then decided that I would work mainly with the senior teams. That's my first priority. On the second level comes the under 21 teams, and then the under 16s and under 18s, where I set the concept. I organize goalkeeper trainers. I've now organized at each team, under 16, under 18, boys and girls. They've got a fixed goalkeeper trainer that goes to all their camps and games and tournaments if possible. It's not a full-time job, obviously, but they come in and do what they can. Coaching my ideas, obviously, and I coach the coaches. And if I can, I try to go to at least one under 16 or under 18 girls and boys event, whatever that is, each year. And we have the under 16 trials in the different regions around the country once a year. And I go there and I select the goalkeepers. I put them through a program and select the goalkeepers and then go forward to the first proper national team camp or trial. So I do try and get around. It's difficult. As I said to you earlier before we went live online, if you just take this year, for example, I've had Hockey Pro League men and women, European Cup men and women, Olympics men and women, and under 21 World Cup boys and girls. I mean, the girls was cancelled, but the whole preparations I did. There's 6 major tournaments, plus Hockey Pro League, plus all the camps that are around that. It's then very difficult to get involved with the under 16s and under 18s directly. But my ideas have been filtered down. I'm controlling now. I'm overseeing everything. And My aim for 2022 is not to travel around with the senior team so much to all these Hockey Pro League games in India and America, Australia, New Zealand, whatever, but to spend more time on coach education and with the youth structure here in Germany. That's my aim for next year. But yeah, I oversee everything.
I can relate to the travelling around and being on the pitch a lot. That's for sure. My wife would agree.
Yep.
Need to rein in at some point, but of course, we've not mentioned Iconic. You also own a goalkeeper coaching brand in Germany called Iconic, which is very well known to anyone in the goalie world already. How's that going?
It started off. We started in March last year. Had our first camp. Went really well. That I do together with Tommy Alexander. Obviously, he's a co-partner, and with Ivy Frank, who's the former German national team ladies goalkeeper. Are you yawning, Keir?
No, not at all.
I hope not. I hope not, mate. I hope not.
I'm very interested in what you're
saying. We have the company between the three of us, and we had our first camp last year. Then 1 week after our first camp came lockdown. We did another one in the summer, a 2-day camp where we had 42 goalies, which is really good. And we had another one in October where we had, I think, 28 goalies. And we did another one. The next camp was in October this year, where we had, I think, 25 or 24 goalkeepers. Difficult because of the circumstances, obviously. And through the company, we coach a couple of different Bundesliga clubs here. So Polo, Flottbeck, Elster. Tommy does some work with Uhlenhorst also. So basically, we're coaching either myself through the national team or through the company. We're coaching most of the best goalkeepers, the top goalkeepers here from a youth through to senior, to the first men and first women. We're coaching most of the top goalkeepers here in Hamburg. The idea is to take it nationwide, because of the restrictions we've had in the last year and a half, obviously, with the virus. We've not got that far yet. And to be fair, it's not my first job. My first job is with the national team. It takes up a lot of time, as you can probably know. And it's like a little side project. So we're not too overzealous to try and get it out there and do this and do that. It's not our Tommy plays still, so it's difficult for him to do a lot of coaching of because he's playing commitments and training commitments. And because of my national team job, it's not my first job either. My on the first level job, so to speak. So it's something we're developing, and we're going to build up and build up and build up. We're trying to get the background right. The website has been in development for about 1.5 years. Been developed by one of my very good friends. He's doing a fantastic job. It's going to be a very funky website. It's going to be pretty different to most of the other goalkeeper coaching websites out there, as you can probably imagine.
Of course,
it's going to be a lot of gold. It's going to be a lot of gold and this sort of stuff involved. It's coming. It started to build up. It started to get quite popular, and then come lockdown. Everything was on shutdown here in Germany. It's a lot stricter than it is in England, obviously, with lockdown. So we've just taken it bit for bit and building up slowly, getting the background right. And then the idea is to go nationwide. We've been asked all over Germany to do events and do camps and come for coaching. We've done some, but it's something for the future and something we're going to try. And when this virus is finally, hopefully over, if that ever happens, obviously, then it was something we look to develop and really build up. But the whole time I'm coaching the national team goalkeepers, it will always be on the second rung, if you know what I mean, to the national team.
I'm
sure you can appreciate that.
I mean, it's a constant juggling act. With multiple hockey jobs and family and everything else. But is it competitive over there, like the goalie market? Like over here, we've got MH1 is probably the biggest in terms of branding and name, and there's a few other little ones, but it is.
No, not really. No. To be fair, the goalkeeper position here, as I said, I mean, I'm the first ever a full-time national team goalie coach for the national teams, which is amazing when you think about it. Germany, one of the top hockey nations over the last, God knows how many years, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Pretty much always had strong goalkeepers through the years as well, successful goalies. And but none of them have really had a deal or idea or structure behind it. It's just and there's only one other real goalkeeper coaching company, also from Hamburg. He tends to deal with more let's say, on the more the fun side of things, the lower level side of things. He's not that really into performance goalkeeper coaching, which is the direction we want to go in. It's the background I come from. Tommy also, and Ivy also is the direction we want to go in. We cater for everyone, but obviously I'm used to worked my whole career myself as a goalkeeper at the top level and played at the top level, and then I can now coach at the top level. It's the way we want to go, but we cater for everybody. But no competition. It's not like in Holland where there's 100,000 different goalie coaches and every club's got a full-time coach. Over here, since I've become involved with the national team as goalie coach, I'm trying to motivate people and inspire people to become goalkeeper coaches. It's one of my goals, and it's going quite well, to be fair. There's more and more people wanting to get involved and wanting to know ideas and learn and get better, which is good. We never had that before. That was one of my aims when I took over the job. It's not just to coach the goalies, but coach education. I think it's extremely important. But no, there's not much competition over it, to be honest. If Tommy wasn't playing anymore, and I wasn't the national team goalie coach, and we were just focusing on Iconic, then the company would probably be, let's say, pretty big by now. But,
I mean,
without being big-headed, we'd be doing well because there's no one else on the market really that competes with us. We now we have something called the Iconic Crew. That's all our coaches that work for us, and part of our concept is that these coaches are all national team goalkeepers. So Anton Brinkman, Noella Rotta, to name but a few. There's names that you probably know. Rosa Kruger, these are all German national team goalies under 21, senior goalkeepers. They all do the coaching for us at the camps. So we have this role model function. I coach them with the national team, and they coach my ideas down to the club goalkeepers. Basically, that's our concept. You have this role model function. I mean, these are the superstars these days. I mean, I'm not. The kids haven't got a clue who I am. They only know me because I'm the national team goalie coach, and that's it. And obviously, I'm a little bit different to most other hockey people, as you can probably see from my. You know me better than most of the people are probably online at the moment. I'm not the normal hockey coach, if you know what I mean. But
that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing.
I pride myself on that, of course. So I pride myself on that. It's these guys are the superstars. They're the heroes these days. So for me, it's important that they have this role model function. They inspire the goalkeepers. They motivate the goalkeepers. They coach the goalkeepers. And so far, the feedback has been phenomenal. It's been very good. We've been restricted from the virus situation. As I said, for us, it's not too bad at the moment because we're a developing company and we've all got full-time jobs. It's a little side project. For me, it's a bit like a retirement fund, basically. When I stop with the national team, which is going to happen at some point, then I want to step into a goalkeeper training company, coaching company that's already up and running and kind of a made company. I don't want to start when I'm 60 years old, start building the company up. So
you got a couple of more years, mate. So till I get your job, don't worry.
A couple, mate. A couple. You have to learn German first, mate.
Oh God, just about manage English. You mentioned two cool things there on my list. So number one was actually Dutch goalkeeper coaching / trainers. So let's cover that quickly because in the modern world, you look on Instagram and you see all these. Everyone thinks they're a coach suddenly, and like there's so much stuff going on. At Hursty would always remind me that there's goalie coaches and there's goalie trainers.
Yeah.
And the trainers with all the kit and the fun-looking all-action drills with all the bouncers and nets and ramps and everything else looks like a really good workout, but isn't necessarily what I'd call coaching as such. Well, definitely got its place. I think. Where do you sit with that in terms of like goalie coaching and goalie trainers?
It's a very relevant point or topic. This is one of the big problems in Germany over the years, always been a problem. It's something I'm trying to resolve, let us say, or change. It's over here, it's called Beschäftigungstherapy, and it means movement therapy.
Right.
And that is for me a goalie trainer. This movement therapy. You set up a practice, they go through the drill, and they save 200 balls in 10 minutes. They get a lot of action, a lot of movement. They're sweaty as hell. They're knackered. They're happy after the session, but they've probably not actually learned anything and improved anything. That is for me is a goalie trainer. And there's also another description of a goalie trainer, someone who works with the goalies only in training, but never actually analyzes their game and looks at their game and tries to improve things. You're only basically there for the training. And it's very difficult to be a coach because you're not actually coaching. Coaching for me is actually developing from the training, things in training that then get put into the game. And it's actually about improving their game at the weekend. I mean, that's the whole reason we do all this stuff during the week is so we play well on the weekend or we play well in the tournament. That's what it's all about. And that is a mixture of the gameplay and the tournament and game situations for me is a mixture of training and coaching. And the normal training situations, okay, you're a goalie trainer. But it's, for me, coaching is being like a teacher. It's about improving people. It's like analyzing and improving. Training is about keeping people busy and putting them through drills and stuff. I see a lot of things, a lot of coaches, a lot of hockey, maybe not even just hockey, but other sports as well, where the goalkeepers, great exercise, but there's never any feedback. Okay, that you're not doing well, that you're not doing well. I mean, I live by two principles of my coaching. You're going to love this, Keir, because I know you love my little, my little things that I live by. One is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, and this is something I've learned since I've been in Germany. Is say trying to put people in the box didn't work when I started coaching here because the goalies are all different. They don't have the background we have and the goalkeeper coaching we've had through the years. So if they do something that I don't like, but they can prove to me that it works most of the time, this is something I work on as well. Nothing works all the time in goal. Nothing works 100% of the time. That we have to accept. We're in a reactive position. Okay, we can be proactive with our thinking and our positioning, but we're in a reactive position, and every situation is different. So what might have worked 2 seconds ago might not work in the next 2 seconds, and nothing works always. So what I try and do is develop things and coach things and train things that work very often. The chances are that it'll work often. That's one of the principles I work with. So if a goalkeeper can prove to me, right, he does something I don't like, I think it's wrong, but it works for him, I'm not going to change it. Okay, that's one of my principles. It's not broke, don't fix it. That's one of my principles. The other one is comes from Albert Einstein. It's a very famous saying. It's absolutely crazy to keep doing the same thing again and again and again and again and expect different results. It doesn't happen. So if something's not working, you have to change it. And that for me is coaching. And so if I see a goalie's doing something and I'm watching it and I analyze it and it's not working time and time again, then I analyze why it's not working. And you have to then look at the little details, obviously. Try doing this, try doing that. And it's about experimenting and trying things. And there comes the individually based coaching. It's not, okay, this is a box, all my goalies be able to do that. You have to be able to do that. It doesn't work like that in goalkeeping, unfortunately. We're all different. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have a different body makeup and different strengths and weaknesses. And for me, it's this coaching thing is about analyzing and improving, and the training is about the development of the training, development of the goalkeeper over a period. I mean, I actually take a lot of my ideas from the Dutch goalkeeper training. I have to say, I like the training they do, but for me, the ball speed is all too slow. It's all very nice, a lot of touch and timing, touch and timing, but it's not explosive enough. And the goalkeeping position these days has got so explosive, so dynamic. The ball travels so fast. I don't see the point in training with a ball speed that is like 30 kilometers an hour when in the game it comes to 200. For me, it doesn't make sense. So, and that is my analysis of the Dutch training. Really good, great exercises, users of the equipment as well. I mean, I use the equipment. I use crazy catch nets. I use the catch it boards. I use all this sort of stuff myself. But I do everything with a high ball speed. So.
Yeah. It's funny, when we were online with Kiko Cortez, he said he had a year in Holland at club level playing for Den Bosch, and he didn't enjoy it at all. And he kept saying, like, why are you training so much? Like, you trained every day. And he was like, why are we training all the time? He was like, I like quality rather than like 500 balls. I want like 100 good ones or 50 good ones, like twice a week. I don't want to train 6 days a week and get absolutely peppered. Like, it wasn't for him, like that intensity and that, scrutiny. He's quite chilled out sort of guy.
He's a really nice guy, really cool guy.
But
yes, it's a very valid point, I think, to be fair. I mean, really, if you look at the facilities that the Dutch have in terms of money and pitches and coaches and full-time players and coaches and video and this and that, really, they should be the best team in the world without a shadow of a doubt, but they're not. So something's wrong there, to be honest. I think it'll be interesting to see how they develop under Dalmay. But this is one of my thoughts with the goalkeeper coaching in Holland. I think because they work with the goalkeepers so often, that they have to come up with a lot of different exercises. I mean, obviously, you're trying to train the same things. And for me, it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's just about trying in new ways, new drills to train the same concept, the same ideas, so it doesn't get boring for the goalkeepers. I mean, I train with my goalies maximum twice a week. 1 hour session each time. If it's an individual session, it'll be less. It'll be about 40 minutes individual because it's quite intensive. The more goalkeepers, the longer it goes. During the week. During a training camp, then I also do a lot more touch and timing exercise because I'm on the pitch with the goalies 2 or 3 times a day every day, and you can't do these dynamic exercises all the time because they haven't got team training as well or games or whatever. It's just too much. So then I bring in a lot more touch and timing and low key exercises to try and get the balance right with how much intensity is there, to be honest. And I think that's one of the problems in Holland. I think, to be fair, they train with the goalies so often that they can't do this all the time,
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's like today, for example, I've been teaching PE in a school. It's my main job. And I have the same. I've got a proper job, believe it or not.
So I'm listening. I've got my earphones. I'm getting the thing. Keep talking, mate. Keep talking.
Yeah. So in that same concept, I've been trying to teach and work with a group of 10-year-olds all term on the ball skills. And actually, of course, ball skills is all your fundamentals, coordination,
of course.
In a similar concept, I've found about 15 ways to coach the same thing to make it interesting, engaging, and not repetitive.
Exactly. That's the whole idea, mate. That's the work of a coach.
The skill set is the same.
Yeah.
But the drills don't look the same. They feel different, but actually we're trying to achieve the same thing.
The same end product,
Yeah.
It's interesting because I actually learned that from an Alex Ferguson interview. And he said to me, it just didn't say to me, so he's in the interview, he said, it's not about, as I said, reinventing the wheel and doing something fantastic every day. At the end of the day, it's about training the same things day in, day out, but finding a different way of doing it. So the players think you're training something different, or the goalies think you're training something different. But in the end result is going to be the same. You're training, let's say we're training with the field players 2 versus 1. There's a million different ways to train 2 versus 1. It's not about doing the same exercise every day. It's about having the same idea, the same concept, and finding a different way to implement it. I have to say I get bored with my own goalie sessions. The goalies don't. I have this conversation with my goalies quite often. And I say to them, oh God, I'm bored with this exercise. He said, why are you bored? Because I've done it for about the 20th time this week. Yeah, but for us, it's the first time this week. We're not bored at all. You have to learn that what's like maybe boring for you, for them, it's probably the first time they've done it this week. They think it's great because I work with 10 or 12 different sets of goalkeepers and do, depending on the level, obviously similar exercises.
Yeah.
And I sit down about every 3 months and probably about 3 or 4 times a year. and sit down with a notebook and pen, think about the game, think about how it's developed, think about how my goalies are played, what mistakes have they made, what difficulties have they had. And then I think about also how's the game changing, what could be coming next. We had this conversation last time, trying to stay one step ahead of the game instead of playing catch up. I then sit down and draw out or whatever, outline maybe 9 or 10 different exercises, drills that would cover some gameplay like backline defense or shots on angles or box, like dominating the box around the goal, or for corner defense, whatever, reaction drills. And I normally go to a training session just with one theme in my mind. I'll turn up to the training session, and normally I would then have the first exercise already in my mind. And from then, everything is just done spontaneously for me. I mean, I've got 1,000 drills in my head, but I'm also quite good at my job, and I'm quite good at being spontaneous, as you know.
Quite good.
Quite good.
Come on, you can say it, Jimmy.
It's one of my strengths, put it that way. I'm pretty good at thinking on my feet. But also, like I said, if something's not working, if one of my drills, I have an idea and I do 7 or 8, 9, 10 repeats of the drill and I don't like it, then I change it straight away. I don't continue to do it hoping for a different result. I change it. So, and there's some basic drills I have with all the goalkeepers. And there's some things that are done spontaneously. I ask the goalies quite often as well. When I come to a session with the top goalies, obviously, is there anything you want to specifically work on today? What was the problems from the last game, from training this week? Are there any, it's called a Baustelle here, building sites you want to improve? And then they might say something to me, okay, I want to try and work on that and that. And straight away, an idea will come in my head. So it's one of my strengths,
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Without being big-headed. My wife hates it. My wife hates it because I don't plan anything. I'm a fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy.
I have this chat with my boss at work all the time. Planning is for me, therefore, why do I need to write it down?
I'm not a great planner. I've got better, but I'm not a massive planner. My wife is very German. Everything has to be planned to the second.
Let's take some questions. We've got lots coming in now. So, Andy Garrett, who is a Essex boy, plays. I don't know actually what club does he play for. I don't know. Good lad, Andy. You've been doing well. He's on the Hero Goalie Camp last week. Actually, we held.
Okay.
He asks, Jimmy, what do you use to analyse goalkeepers, i.e., software or video or special tools? He's quite techie. I won't say geek. Sorry, he's from Havering. He just told me Havering. Sorry, Andy, I knew that. I just couldn't recall it. What software and tech do you use, Jimmy? I
use. I film nearly every session I do. Every game that's played. I'm talking about national team now, not about club stuff. But every national team game is obviously filmed. Normally from both ends, so I get 2 views. I get a split view. We use Sports Code as our analyzing program we use, and I get two views. So I get a front view and a back view. So I get the goalkeeper's view from behind the goal. Obviously, I put my GoPro normally on the crossbar, we get the front view is normally filmed from the proper video man, and in the second half it changes over. Obviously in the games, that I use a lot. And my own sessions I film with a GoPro. I've just bought myself one of these massive tripod things that you can extend right up to like 7 meters or so I can actually film. Yeah, I like that. Mine extends to 7 meters.
Yeah, this has got a massive base on it. But this is.
Does that extend high up or not?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, I think so. It's a new one. That's actually from Andy.
I used to film. Then I film the session from above rather than from eye level. It comes in.
Is that Zeo? Is that Zeo, the brand?
I have no idea, mate. I bought it on on Amazon. It cost like 70, 80 euros.
I'm only saying that because Andy's a proper tech geek. So he'll be
okay. He know more than I do. You know a lot more than I do. So that's what I use. I don't have a specific goalkeeper analyzing tool.
Do you use Huddle? I know with Wales we have just started to.
Yeah, Huddle is Sports Code. It's the same. Sports Code is owned. Huddle owns Sports Code. That's what we use for the national teams.
for people listening, might be worth mentioning that I know Wales, I'm sure other teams do it as well, where we've basically formed a video library for the goalkeepers. So we've filmed, we've got clips and footage of every team we're playing against. We keep the footage of corners, shootouts,
yeah, of course, mate, of course.
And then we've just started recently to collate like an in-house clipping all the game clips for the goalies and then storing them centrally so goalies can log in on Huddle and actually look back at their own stuff at their own time. Rather than it being sent to them, they can check it out whenever they want. They can just see who's looking at it. So I think for club level, there's nothing to stop clubs who are really serious and got the people with the time to do it to start, actually recording and then collating video. I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, sure.
To go back and look at it.
Yeah, the problem is that you need a coach that can then go through the clips with you. I mean, if you've got no goalie coach or the goalkeeper coach is only there for the training, it's a goalie trainer, not a goalie coach. As we come to this debate about what is a coach and what is a trainer, then doesn't really make that much sense to get that deeply involved with it. To be honest, I mean, this is what I do with all the Bundesliga goalkeepers that I coach. Here in Hamburg, and all the national team goalies I coach as well. We do a lot of analysis. So after a national team game, I will get clips from the video man, and I get every circle penetration from the opposition, every goal shot, every corner, every penalty. So basically everything. What the goalies, they just used to send me every action where the goalie is involved. But I then started to ask for every circle penetration so I can see the positioning of the goalkeeper and his kind of thinking and that sort of stuff as well. And we also have databases with the national team. Also with our junior teams, we have the same as well. We have a database for the men and women senior teams that dates back to about 2014 or something. We have every corner and every penalty and every penalty stroke dating back for the last 6-7 years.
Nice. Another question, and this is the girl who is the England under-16s girls goalkeeper that we coach a lot with Hero. She says, Jimmy, what is the most important attribute for a young goalie to really develop if they want to play at the top?
Well, I'm not sure there is just one attribute you have to develop. I think the most important thing is twofold, really, but they go together. I think is to believe in yourself, know your strengths and weaknesses, further develop your strengths because that's what makes you strong, and trying to I just say it in English. God, my English is so bad these days, man. I've been living in Germany for 18 years. My English is terrible. Try and negate your weaknesses, basically, to make your weaknesses less weak and make your strengths more strong or stronger. And I think the most important thing is to just have fun. This is one of my goals always, even when a training session really hurts and you're breathing out of your ears. I'll keep it clean because we're online. Then just to keep smiling and keep enjoying. And we don't do this to be rich. We do it because we enjoy it, and we do it because we love the sport, and we love playing in goal, and we love stopping balls, love saving shots, and love being a bit different to everybody else. That's why we're goalies, obviously. It's part of the game. Just to enjoy it, basically. And I think for me, this is what I try and with my goalkeepers that I coach here in Germany, we have a lot of fun. We train hard, but we have at the same time we have a lot of fun, and it's the culture that I've tried to develop with the goalkeepers over here, and it's now, since a couple of years started to come to fruition. Is that we have fun, we train hard, we work together. The goalies fight against each other, they fight with each other or to help each other, but fight against each other. That's a really healthy competition. That's the way it should be. And we have a lot of fun. I think that's the most important thing, is to enjoy it. Whether you're playing at the bottom level or the top level, it doesn't matter. We don't do this for the money. We do it for the pride. We do it for the love of the sport, and we do it because we love saving balls. And I think the more you enjoy it, and you enjoy the kind of the development and the pressure and pushing yourself and helping your team, then the better you play, to be fair.
Do all goalies need a role model? Do you think we all need someone to look up to, or someone to, even at club level, it might be like the first team goalie or someone you're playing,
I'm not sure we need one. I'm not sure if it's a need or a must. But I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's very good, especially when you're young. Obviously, there's a lot of question marks about your game. You don't know much, and you're learning a lot. And obviously, it's a bit different to field players. We still have this old scenario that goalkeepers come into their best years. Used to be in my day in your early 30s. I think these days it's actually brought forward a little bit because of the speed of the game these days. I think it's probably now late 20s. You're probably in your best, unless you're athletically really good, obviously, like you work here.
hey, thank you.
So I couldn't resist. It's what was the question again? I forgot what the question was.
Can I just say, last time we spoke about this, you tried telling me that David Seaman was not a good goalkeeper.
Oh,
and I'm
mate.
not having that.
Mate, no, I'm trying to copy his hairstyle. I'm trying to copy the hairstyle.
Quick question here for you then. Someone said,
what was the question again? What was the question? You asked me a question. I forgot what it was.
The question was like do we need a role model?
Do we need a role model? True.
Yeah.
I think it's good when you're young to have a role model. I mean, when I was at Havant, was my hometown club. I was in the England under 15s, under 16s. I was a number 2 goalie for the first men's team when I was like 14, 15. And Sean Rowland was the England and Great Britain number 1, the best in England at the time, one of the best in the world. And I was a mini Sean Rowland. I had my kit exactly the same as him. I had the same shoes. Anything he put tape on his glove, I put the same tape on. I copied him up until I was about 17, I would say. And then I started to develop my own style. And by then, 18, 19, I actually overtook him as the first men's team goalkeeper. Yeah. So it was important for me to have this role model. I think it's totally important, whether that's a coach, a former goalie, or it's a men's first team goalie, or whatever. You can have someone as a role model. For me is important. You have to pick the right role model. Obviously, it's not good to have the wrong role model. But I think it's good, especially when you're young, because you have a lot of questions about your own game and developing, and about yourself as a person as well. And I think it's very important. It's a very good question. And I think it's important to have a role model. I think it's quite, I'm not sure. I'm just thinking about this right now on the spot. It's better, I would say, to have a role model that you can touch, basically. You're in touching distance, than someone who's up on a pedal swimming.
Yeah.
Maddie Hinch.
Hico called it a local. Hico called it a local
exactly.
role model.
Yeah, a local contact point, basically. So yeah, someone at your club, or if you're already in the under 16s national team, then obviously you've got contact to the under national team goalkeepers, but that's under 18s, under 21 seniors. Then they could be your role models because you're already on that path, if you know what I mean. If you're a club goalkeeper, I don't see the point of having Maddie Hinch as your role model, because the distance is too far away, and probably the levels are too far away. Then probably better to have someone in your club, to be honest, or from a club around you, whatever, in your area. But,
and in coaching terms, like in this country, MH1 is massive, and it's a really amazing day out if you're like a kid.
That's not surprising. Maddie's a phenomenal goalkeeper.
Yeah,
great
you come away massively inspired.
Yeah, of course.
You've chatted to Maddie, you've met Maddie, you've watched her training. All that's brilliant, But actually,
that for me, that's a role model thing, but that's not a long-term role model thing.
That's what I've come on to. So
that's an inspiration, motivation thing.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant, great. I'm now even more in love with hockey. Yeah, I can totally appreciate that, but that's not a long-term role model that you can copy and learn from and ask questions. That's something totally different, I think.
Yeah,
that's an inspiration. That's an inspiration and not a role model, for me personally.
No, I agree, and I think that's really partly why Alan and I set here up, because we wanted goalies to get regular goalie coaching and not rely on them like one-off days like that, where when I was a kid, you saw Hursty like a couple of times a year, and if you got into England, which I was lucky enough to as a kid, then you would saw him more regularly. But before that, goalie courses didn't exist.
No, Hursty was the only one doing it in England. He was the only one. When he was my goalie coach from under 16s till seniors. For I was in from 88, I think. I was at my first ever under 15s camp, 1988. Yeah, I think under 15 or 88 or 89, up until I stopped in 2007. He was my one and only goalie coach.
My
So he
mate
was,
was your captain under 16 level,
who was
Nick
that?
Wilshire.
Nick Wilshire. I know Nick. Yeah, Nick. Nice guy.
Yeah. He tells me
But
that.
yeah, had a few of
Um,
your ex-players in my team back in those days. John Evanet was in the team as well
biggest
before
cast
he
in
joined
hockey.
the army.
Many big
That is
legs.
true. That is true. Massive. Yeah, massive. That is true.
Just
Nice
going to
guy.
nip on. Got a couple of questions coming in now. Matt Carter, who's a goalie coach from down this way, Kent, he asks, who's the best goalkeeper you've had the opportunity to play against or coach?
Ooh. Funnily enough, when I was thinking today what kind of questions will be coming my way tonight, and one of my thoughts was, I'm sure somebody's going to ask, who is the best goalkeeper you've ever coached? And I was thinking the whole day, what can I say? I don't know. I've worked with a lot of top goalkeepers. I'm not sure which one is the best one. The best goalkeeper I played against. Um, I would have to say Ronald Jansen
Hey, yes,
from Holland.
yes.
Definitely the best goalie but not just because of his game, but because of his personality, how he looked. He was small, he was fat and big porn style, locked curly hair. But he had the luck to be part of a very good Dutch team that just cleaned up and won everything. But he was also a big part of that, and he was a big game player. He pulled out his big performances in the big moments, semi-finals, finals. Another big goalie, or a very good goalie, is also a big goalie as well. Really nice guy from here in Germany is Max Weinhold.
Yeah.
He is a phenomenal goalkeeper. He's actually a phenomenal athlete. His reactions and his coordination is just someone who's never really trained, smoked a lot, drank a lot, partied a lot. Not saying that's my kind of thing, but read into that what you want. But he was someone who, in the moment, he performed, and that is phenomenal to see. I've seen Max in league games here in Germany, normal Bundesliga league games, and he's been absolutely atrocious, I have to say, and he'd admit it himself. And then 2 days or 1 week later will be the German Championship semi final, and he's like another guy. It's just he's a big game player.
Yeah.
And he stands up and is counted in the right moment. That's for me is a talent, and it's called being a Typ, means being a person over here, and it's something they rely on a lot over here. It's just goalkeepers that are in the moment, they stand up and be counted. I mean, it's what it's all about. At the end of the day, I actually prefer goalkeepers that are across the board good, so their performance level goes like this and not like this. But in Germany, they more concentrate on what happens at the end of the tournament. As England, we were practically never at the end of the tournament back in my day. So it's more about performing consistently. But those would be my two standout goalkeepers, I would say. One from the modern day, obviously. Max retired after London 2012, won 2 gold medals, 2008, 2012 Olympics. And Janssen also won 2 gold medals, I think, in 96 and in 2000. Yeah, so both of them won 2 gold medals. Both of them outstanding players. Both of them completely different characters. Not your standard yes sir, no sir kind of person. They were
We like that.
not easy to deal with. Max is probably easier than Ronald, to be honest. But both standout players. The best goalie I've ever coached. It's funny, as I said to you earlier, just a minute ago, I've actually thought about this question today. And I can't put my finger on just one, but I could put my finger on two. And they both come from the men's setup here in Germany, national team, and were the 2 goalkeepers for the men's Olympic team in Tokyo this year. There's Victor Ali and Alex Stadler, but for different reasons. I mean, Victor, I started coaching him. I was his one and only goalie coach from under 10s. He joined Flottbeck when I was the first men's team goalkeeper when he was 10 years old. as a goalkeeper from Polo Hockey Club, which is around the corner. And I started working with him and realised he was a talent. And I coached him from basically scratch to under 16s, under 18s, under 21, under 21 world champion, and then Olympic team. And he is a phenomenal all-round goalkeeper, my size, my build, hard worker, quick, amazing reactions, great athlete, a real thinker as well. It's a little bit different to me. He's not quite as crazy as I am. He's a real thinker of the game, but a great all-round goalkeeper and top guy. And I have to say, I mean, I coached him from scratch up until the Olympics. Is one of my success stories, I have to say. And some of the performances I've seen from him and what he can actually do is phenomenal, and how he pushed himself through as one of the first. Let's say in Germany he would be called small. He's like 5'11".
Yeah,
Average in England, probably above average.
yeah.
In Germany, that's a small goalkeeper. I'm considered a midget, and I'm like 5'10" and a half. You would be like, yeah, you wouldn't even exist here, mate. And in Germany, knee high to a grasshopper. How he pushed himself through with my ideas, my concepts. Before I was the German goalie coach, okay, I was just a player over here at the time, goalie. And he was never sure that he was going to make the team. And I said, look, believe in yourself, trust in yourself. You're the best goalie for your age group in the whole of the country. Didn't believe me, but he always got selected as number one goalie through the years. And how he pushed through with my ideas was a really proud moment for me. And to coach someone from scratch to Olympics is also a really proud moment. The second one, Alex Stadler, who's the current number one goalkeeper in Germany. He has this phenomenal talent. I'm a great analyzer of the game, as you probably know. Was as myself as a goalkeeper. Watched a lot of video of myself and tried to develop my game personally and with Hursty together. I do the same with the goalkeepers here. And with most of the goalies, we need to analyze something on video, train it in training, build the training up in training, do it in practice games, put it into a proper game. That's like the basic steps. Sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. With Stadler, I can talk about something with him, sometimes just on the phone, sometimes with Zoom meeting, whatever. Sometimes he's sitting in front of a laptop and he looks at something 2 or 3 times. He can go straight out in a competitive game and put it into action. I've never met a goalkeeper in my whole life, played against, trained, that can do that. It's a phenomenal talent. He doesn't need to put it into action in training 1,000 repeats to get it right. He can put it straight into action. I mean, we did this at the Olympics and we did it at the European Cup. At the Olympics, I wasn't in the Olympic Village. I was in a hotel, so we communicated a lot to debrief his games with Zoom. And I was like, okay, this is, I think that and that, really good, whatever, blah blah blah. This is a little point here. I think you could try and adjust that. I watched the Nets game. I was in the stadium watching the Nets game. Obviously, focus of Stadler, and he's put it straight into action, and it worked straight away. And that is, I just sit there and I'm just like, wow.
So he's quite sort of cognitively sharp then, is he? In terms of like
that, I wouldn't say
applying it.
I wouldn't say he's the sharpest cookie in the biscuit box, but he's in terms of hockey goalkeeping, we can discuss something, and if he agrees with it, we don't agree on everything, but he's willing to try it, and he can put it straight into action, and that is for me an amazing talent. I've worked with a lot of talented people over the years, obviously, and I still do. And I've never met anyone that can, firstly, has got the balls to go and do something new in a high level game that means a lot, and secondly, that can actually achieve it. It's a real talent. Yeah. So that would be for me the best two that I've coached. Different reasons, and the best of two I've played against, Max Weinhold and Ronald Janssen, both unnatural athletes. For their body shape and everything, but both phenomenal goalkeepers and goalies that have won a lot, and in their important moment have stood up and been counted.
Yeah. And Alan Dick, if you are listening, Jimmy did mention Janssen and not Vogels. Just saying. Okay, that's great. Another quick couple of questions. I know we're going to be finishing soon. Don't want to keep you too long. I've got a couple more questions.
My kids are waiting to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. So Question from there's no name on it. This question says
Well, no name.
no name.
It's from Maddie. It's
Do
definitely
you
from Maddie
use?
Hinch.
It's from Maddie Hinch. Yeah, she's quite good. Do you use priming drills either with Iconic or with Germany or with your club before the keepers put their kit on, like softball stuff, hand eye type stuff, or is that not your style?
Not my thing. Not my thing.
No.
It's we have for every training session I do, whether I'm talking now about top level, at the camps is a little bit different, obviously, because we have 1 or 2 days and it's about getting a lot of ideas over, having a bit of fun at the same time. A lot of goalies, it's a little bit difficult to do that. With the top goalies that I work with, we have pretty much a set warm-up program that we do practically every session. And that's what my sessions are broken down into a technique block. That's right at the beginning. That's for me, that's a warm up. Then it would be either a gameplay or reaction or a mixture of the two, block and then standards at the end. That's normally my standard goalkeeper training. It varies from session to session, but that's normally the standard. And in a standard session, I would go 1 round, and 1 round is generally between 6 and 10 balls, not more, because I want everything to be done with high speed and high power, good time and a good concentration. So I never do more than 8 to 10 balls in one repeat, in one cycle, if you know what I mean. And we go through cross kick, so balls close to the body for the feet, play the ball crossed away, play the ball to the outside away, balls next to the feet, do the same for the leg guards, balls in the corner, left and right foot, balls in the corner for left and right leg guard, hand saves, a bit of sliding. I do that at the start of every single session, even with the #1 goalkeeper in Germany at the moment. We do it every single session. That for me is their basics. The same as a field player goes through the before training session, they hit 100 balls backwards and forwards, slap 100 balls, flick high balls, and we do it before a game. We have a shortened version of that. I do personally with the goalkeepers when I'm at a tournament or a game, or the goalkeepers do it with each other, or another coach does it. I've trained the field player coaches to do it, or the other goalkeepers to do it, but the goalkeeper is playing. We have a set routine of a certain number of balls of these different techniques. Then come the goal shots at the goal. And then once they go into the goal shot, they've got all these movements are in the head and in the body already. So the movements that come naturally, or the instinctive movements you need to save a hockey ball, my train of thought, I'm not saying it's right, but it's my way of thinking, are already there, they're already pre-programmed through the goalkeeper warm-up. So it's very, very structured what I do. In terms of the camps, not because we work normally in the camps in a different session. We have a different theme, and there'll be build up drills to the main theme for each session by a camp. And with 5 or 6 goalies in the group, obviously you can't just make 10 balls between the feet. The next goalie takes an hour then to get the goalies warm. It's actually not possible. But every club coaching I do, whether that's individual or trainings early in the mornings with the Bundesliga goalkeepers or the club goalies or national team goalies, yes, we have a set structure. That is the technique block or phase, and it lasts between 10 and 20 minutes. Sometimes we do it with a bit of reaction work in between, but stuff without kit, no, I do everything in kit.
Question here from Vicky, no surname, says, Jimmy, do you... Hang on.
I'm already married, sorry.
No, she was typing and it just vanished. I don't know what's happened there.
Okay.
I'll come back to that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, Jimmy, do you recommend a maximum group size for goalkeeping?
Yes.
So how many is too many? Like,
depends on the level of the goalkeepers. With national team goalkeepers, I work with a maximum of 4 in one group. So me and 4 goalies. That's the same for top level, so first Bundesliga, so Premier League goalkeepers also. I train them the same. National team and first division goalies, I train the same. Our camps are iconic camps. We have a concept of maximum 5 goalkeepers per goalie coach. Apart from our beginners group, who are basically between 8 and 10 years old normally. We split our groups into age and ability. I asked the goalkeepers when they register for the camp, I want to know what club they play at, what team they play at the club, how long they played in the goal, blah, blah, blah. And I put goalkeepers into relevant groups. Tommy coaches always the top group. We have a few junior national team goalies there as well, county goalies, this kind of stuff. They train with 4, maximum 5. The very starter group, the basic group, beginner group, sometimes 6, depends on how many kids. Also, 5 is normally the level. I work personally with myself. My favorite number would be 3 to work with. I've got 1 goal in the goal and a rebounder from both sides, or a shooter or whatever from both sides. I can do my best drills with 3 goalies. 4 is also okay. More than 4 I don't work with at the top levels. Too much standing around, not enough ball contacts, too much talking, not enough action.
Have you got 4 keepers on your program that are full time, or 3?
You mean with the national team?
Yeah.
The men's senior is difficult to say now because after the Olympics, Victor's retired.
Right.
He's not playing anymore. Mark retired also. He wasn't selected. He was a number 3 goalkeeper, Mark Apple. He's also retired. A bit, what do you call it over here? What do you call it in English? A bit fussy over here. If they don't make the number 1 spot, then they kind of retire quite early over here. Well, not everybody, but there's a big emphasis on working and stuff over here as well. We're not in a centralized program like in England. They're not full time over here. They all study or they all work or go to school. It's a split job over here. It's 50-50 from study, work, and training. It's a hard thing, which is why the German players tend to stop a lot earlier than someone like I did. I played till I was national team, so I was nearly 33, and Barry Middleton, this kind of things. In the men's senior team before the Olympics, there were 4 goalkeepers. One of them, 2 of them are still studying. One had stopped studying but was full-time hockey because his family are extremely rich. And the other one had just finished studying, done his law exams, qualified as a lawyer. That was Victor. And he's now retired from hockey. He's done no hockey at all, no club, no national team. He's only 27 and has gone full-time into work. So
that's fair, but for me, that's like, whoa, like you committed your life to something and something just stopped. Fair play, but to me, that's
and the women's side, there's the number 1 goalkeeper for the last few years has been Yulia Chupka. She's a qualified dentist and has started working part-time in a dentistry. So she sometimes goes to athletic training at 6 a.m. Is in the dentist. Yeah, I don't look at my teeth, mate. I want to go to the dentist. She goes to the dentist sometimes athletic training 6 o'clock in the morning. Goes in the dentist surgery at 8. Works until 5. Then goes to either club training or to national team training in the evenings.
Dedication, man.
They are basically 7 days a week, full on.
Wow.
It's just a hard. It's pretty much like it was when I played national team before this lottery funding came in. We were also the same in England. We were traveling, we were training national team stuff in the mornings, early in the evening, sometimes club stuff in the evenings, and then games at the weekends. The centralized program doesn't work in Germany. The country's too big, and too much emphasis on studies and work over here.
Question here from Wayne Irvine. He says, George Pinner recently retired. What would you have worked with him on to improve his game?
Good question.
Obviously, great goalkeeper. Did very well.
Very good goalkeeper. Very good goalkeeper. Nice guy as well. I actually worked with George in 2017. I think it was October or November. I went over to be interviewed for the England GB goalkeeper job. They offered me the job. I didn't take it. I stayed with Germany. It was nothing to do with the job. That was to do with my family. My wife was not so keen on living in Marlow. We're both city people. She loved it, fell in love with it, but it was not something long term. It was something would be a short term option. But I said no. It's either All or Nothing. And I worked with George and Harry for 2 days. After my interview, I had an interview in the office, obviously, with the coaches, and then a physical interview or trial. And I did a few goalie sessions and a couple of team sessions. I worked with George on his corner defense. It's a, I wouldn't say it's a fact here, but it's a thing in England, in Germany here, that the German team, men's team, think that George had a weakness low to his stick side at corners. So that I worked with George on that, on a slightly different technique of how to drop down quicker on the stick side. I worked a lot with Harry and George on baseline work with a clear concept: when should the goalkeeper leave the post, the near post, to come out along the baseline? If you're staying on the post, what are then your next actions? What kind of techniques can we implement to help improve the success rate for these next actions when we don't leave the post? We worked on that quite a bit. They liked the ideas, and I actually did that. Russell Garcia was the co-trainer, Danny the main trainer, or was it Bobby? No, Bobby was the main trainer. Danny was still the women's trainer back in those days. And I then worked on a men's session with the goalkeepers, and Russell did a lot of backline work. And I coached George during that session, and he actually implemented what we trained and spoken about really well, and had a lot of success, I have to say. So that was the two things I worked on with him about, was backline defense. Box work is what I call this little circle around the goal. Corner defense, that I thought was his two, they're not his weaknesses, but there are two areas that could be improved, I think.
Yeah.
And he actually took on the ideas really well, and he made very quick, very big progression straight away, I thought, personally, was my opinion.
Yeah, big shout out to George if he's listening.
Yep.
Hi,
George.
He's a top
Happy
bloke.
retirement.
Top bloke. He intended to enjoy himself. He told me very straight.
Sure. About time.
So he had a great career, and George, congrats on a great career, and I hope you enjoy your retirement.
Definitely.
You've earned a rest and a couple of sherbets. Jimmy is getting on a bit now. I just want to thank you very much for coming on. It's been a really interesting show.
Absolute pleasure.
It will be available for people to watch back on the Hero Facebook page if you want to have an hour and 25 minutes of your time spare. Come and have another look. We've got a bit over tonight. Apologies for that, Jimmy. Some really good questions. Always great having Jimmy on. And I know that for me personally as well, having a goalkeeper coach with some real charisma and personality, something that I want to...
You're talking about yourself or what?
Well, I'm not there yet. It may be in the future. I should say,
the beard's coming along, mate. The beard's coming along.
It is coming on nicely. It's a bit ginger like a Viking.
I shaved mine off this morning. Went back to the tash.
Someone on here, Jimmy, put Jimmy the Tiger King.
No, there's everyone says that tiger. It's leopard. It's leopard. How many tigers have you seen with leopard print? Tigers have stripes.
Of course, I knew that. Jimmy, thank you very much tonight. It's been really interesting.
Pleasure.
Always absolute legend to talk to, and good luck with all your stuff with Germany and Ulster and Tommy and Amy and Iconic. You're a very busy man. Fingers in many pies.
That's true.
So whatever you get up to, mate. Also, have a great Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, you too. Everybody out there, enjoy Christmas. Stay safe.
Yeah.
I was due to fly to my parents with my family here for Christmas, and we cancelled it last week because of the new mutation of this virus. It's a real shame. I've not seen my mum and dad for over 2 years, man. My daughter is a year and a half old, and they've not met my daughter yet. It's crazy, really crazy.
Good luck with that. You're still the prince. Really crazy. You're still the Prince of Portsmouth, by the way.
Hey. So look, I've got two things to say. Firstly, I know this is a Hero Goalkeeper show, but if anybody's out there listening and you've got questions or frustrations or things you'd just like answered, queries, whatever, then follow us on Iconic, and then you can just ask me or Tommy Alexander directly our question, and we will do our best to answer it as quickly as possible. My daughter's just coming in the door here. Secondly, thank you for having me on again. I heard from Keir that I was requested to be a guest again on here. It's a real proud moment for me. Thank you very much. I have no idea what my name means anymore in England because I've been away from England now for 18 years, obviously. It's nearly 19 years, but it's nice to know that people appreciated the first show when I was on, and I'm more than willing to answer questions directly via Iconic or Hero, either way. And I wish you all a lovely Christmas, a safe New Year, and stay safe and have fun.
Rest assured, the name of Jimmy Lewis is still shining bright in England. Don't worry about that.
Not sure about that, mate. Not sure about that.
I tell anyone that listens anyway. So I'll be your PA, mate. It's fine.
Everyone's got to have their role model, no?
Good guys. Thank you. Good evening to you, and have a lovely Christmas. Take care.
Bye bye.